Guys, it's Emily, and today I'm here to bring you a recent reads video. I've finished 2 books since I last talked to y'all, and I'm in the middle of 4 more, so there's a lot of good reading going on. The first book that I finished in February was The Gift of Asher Lev by Chaim Potok. This is the sequel to My Name is Asher Lev, which I read in the last week of January. This is set 20 years after the events of the first book. Asher Lev and his family are living in Paris, but they are called back to Brooklyn because his uncle has passed away, and his uncle was the first person to really support his career, the first person to buy a painting from him, and he also lived with his uncle for a while in the first book, and his uncle made the attic of his house into a studio for Asher, so Asher feels obligated to go to this funeral. So they go to Brooklyn, and he hasn't really been there since the events of the first book, and so his children have never really known his parents that well, and so the family starts, connecting, and Asher's wife and children really love it in Brooklyn, and throughout the book you sort of see that they want to stay in Brooklyn, and Asher is not really wanting to stay, both because of the memories and because he sort of feels like being there, he can't really work there, and so his art is suffering for being there. And then in addition to that issue, his uncle has a very extensive art collection, which Asher did not know, and his uncle has left it to him, to Asher, and so he's having an issue with that because he is fighting with his cousins who don't want him to have the trusteeship of it, so he's having that issue. So it's a really interesting book, and it's very beautiful. I gave it 4 stars. It isn't quite as impactful as My Name is Asher Lev, but again, it's a sequel, and sequels rarely are. But yeah, I enjoyed this. It's definitely a book that you need to read second, though. It's not a standalone in any sense of the word. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. I then read Any Human Heart by William Boyd. This is a book that I saw on Patty's channel back when she was making videos as I Smell Books, and so it's been on my TBR for a while. This is the fictional diary of a writer named Logan Mountstuart, who was born in 1906 and dies in 1991. So he lives throughout the entire 20th century, and we start when he is in boarding school in England, and so we see his school days, and then he goes to Oxford, and then he lives in London for a while as a writer, and then World War II happens, and he's involved in that, and then after the war he moves to New York, and it's just his life throughout the years, and it's very exciting. He's a writer, but then he also works as an art dealer for a while, so he meets a lot of famous people, Hemingway, Picasso, just all kinds of writers, Gertrude Stein. So he's very well-rounded in the sense of who he knows and his literary habits and his art habits, and it's just a really interesting book. Logan himself can be kind of like a douche. He's very into sex, and he's into like prostitution, picking up prostitutes at night, and he drinks a lot, so he's sort of not like a great role model, but he's got a very interesting life and a very interesting personality. And he's also, part of the book focuses on the fact that he's trying to write his one great novel of his life, and he never succeeds. So in that sense, it's a failed life, but then it's also a very interesting life. And I actually really enjoyed this. As y'all know, I really enjoy diaries and epistolary novels, so this was right up my street, and I'm very glad that I finally read it, and that I finally, got it off my TBR and took Patty's recommendation to read it. And then I'm currently reading 4 books. The first one being Possession by A.S. Byatt. This is a 555-page book, so that's why I'm holding this up. This is a very interesting, literary fiction novel about 2 scholars, Roland and Maud, and they are studying 2 different writers. Maud is studying Christabel Lamont, and Roland is studying Randolph Henry Ashe, and they are both poets, And it's sort of about these two figures have never been, connected together in any way, but Roland finds this unfinished letter in some of Randolph Henry Ash's, sorry, too many R names, Randolph Henry Ash's letters, and so he thinks that they are connected to Christabel Lamont, so he contacts Maud, who is a scholar that studies Christabel, and they sort of are going on this adventure to try to piece together how Randolph and Christabel knew each other, and we also get Randolph and Christabel's poems and letters, and that's interesting. I will say it sort of drags a lot, and it's very easy to put down. I've been reading at least one chapter every day, because there's 29 chapters and there's 28 days in February, so you can read a chapter a day and 2 chapters on the last day. So it's okay, but it's not like something that I'm really flying through, and I'm not, it's not like something that is like a page turner in any sense of the word, but it's okay, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm really wanting to finish it so that I can watch the movie, which has Gwyneth Paltrow as Maud. So we'll see, but yeah, I'm definitely wanting to finish this eventually, but probably not until the later half of February. I'm also reading The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. Y'all have probably seen this around. It's pretty popular both on BookTube and in real life. This follows Star Carter, who is a 16-year-old girl that lives in the projects, but she goes to a school, a fancy prep school about 45 minutes away from her house, so she's sort of caught between two worlds. And then one night she's coming home from a party with her best friend Khalil, and Khalil is shot by a police officer, and he was unarmed and not doing anything wrong, and so Star is sort of caught between the projects where there's riots going on and there's things going on to protest, and then her mostly white prep school where people don't really care and they only protest because it gets them out of class. And she's also debating whether or not she should talk to the press and, tell the press what really happened, because the police are, making a statement that acts like Khalil is a drug dealer and that he sort of deserved to be killed. And so right now she's trying to decide whether or not she should speak out. But yes, this is very impactful and very fast moving. I started this yesterday and I'm already on page 200. So this is a lot quicker read than Possession. I'm still reading my Bible study book, The God We Can Know by Rob Fuquay, and this is okay. It's pretty standard Bible study book. I'm reading a chapter a week, and we'll be done with it next week, so I'll definitely get this done pretty soon. Again, it's okay, nothing to write home about. It's just talking about Jesus' I am statements from the chapter of John in the Bible. And then finally, I'm reading O Pioneers, which is my Willa Cather for the month. I actually started this last weekend because I needed something portable that I could throw into my purse. And of course, Possession is huge, so I didn't want to be taking that. And so I've only read part 1, and I haven't made any other progress on it. This follows Alexandria Birkenson, and she lives in rural Nebraska in the early 1900s, where there's no civilization up there, and it's about her passion for the land. Her father has died, and so her brothers really want to sell the land and move back to Chicago so they could get jobs in civilization. But Alexandra feels very passionate about the land, and she really loves it, and she wants to hold on to it. And then she also has a friend named Carl, who is about to move away back to, I think Chicago or somewhere like that. And so it's about their relationship. And I think based on the blurb, Carl is going to come back into her life later on. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this. Willa Cather is a really good writer. And yeah, and that's all I'm reading so far. My goal is to read 7 books in March. I have one more book that I ordered through Interlibrary Loan that I'm waiting to come in, but of course I have plenty to read, so it should be no problem to finish 7 books in February, and then I'll be starting on my March Mystery Madness reading. So I hope everybody's having a great day, and you're reading a lot of great books, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye!